What? I don't know if I should keep that in or not, but you know what? Screw it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Started this dynamic effort lower body workout with some high pulls, and I gotta put these to bed for a little bit. They're just not giving me the same stimulus. Maybe I'm just too good at them. I don't want to seem like an expert on them, but it's not giving me the stimulus I need. Sure, it is an explosive movement, but there are other explosive movements that I am bad at or worse at than high pulls that will have more bang for their buck, low-hanging fruit, as I always like to talk about. And I should probably be replacing that with those low-hanging fruit exercises, such as various forms of jumps, kettlebell cleans, kettlebell snatches, things like that. So as I will mention in a video, I'm going heavier with my dynamic effort work. I will explain why in a full detailed video. Here's 115 pounds of chain. Not all of it comes off the floor, with 200 and I guess that was 40 or 235, 240 pounds. And I did 5 sets of 3, and then I chose to work up. That's why I did less sets overall. This is 275 for 3, and here's 315 for 3. With the safety squat bar, of course, I forgot to mention that. This form is really carrying over to my free squats because I'm trying to just sit back more, but then use all the same cues and pull myself forward into a free squat, and that's why it's carrying over. Some people do a box squat and a free squat, and they look totally different and then wonder why the box squat is not carrying over to their free squat. Well, I wonder why. That's like saying, why is my overhead press not carrying over to my pull-ups? Well, they're two different movements. Then I did 5 sets of 2. Basically, I just wanted to do 10 total reps of sumo, and my sumo form is getting a lot better. I'm really able to shove my hips forward at the bottom. It's helping me get the pop off the floor. My knees are staying out. I'm pointing my knees outward. My form is getting a lot better. A lot, as Jason Blaha says. And that was no belt. And it was, I don't want to say it was effortless, but it was way easier than it could have been should I not have been doing better cues. Let's put it that way. Then I did, it's basically a giant set between glute ham raises, what you see here, kettlebell split squats, and weighted sit-ups. And I just wanted to hit 20 to 30 reps of each of them. Once I did, they got removed out of the circuit. So I'm putting what I believe to be a 17-pound chain around my neck. So this is body weight plus 17 pounds, but it's not all in one spot. If I were to hold a plate, it would be far out in front, so there'd be a greater moment arm on the movement. These are things people really don't need to worry about in the long run, but just be consistent. If you're going to load yourself with chain, load yourself with chain. If you're going to load yourself with a plate or a kettlebell or anything like that, or a bar on your back, be consistent, because a 25-pound chain is not equal to a 25-pound plate. So you're going to think you're getting weaker, and really you're doing a more difficult variation. So here is the kettlebell split squats that I talked about. I think I'm going to stand on a plate because it looks like once those kettlebells get bigger, they'll be tapping the floor, which is something I don't want on this particular exercise. And once again, you'll hear me talk about this in a later vlog because I filmed them in a backwards order, but this did not affect my hip flexor, pectineus, abdominal, lower abdominal, transverse abdominis area at all. Like, I just felt like it was being worked. I didn't feel any weakness. I just felt it. But afterwards, there was no exaggerated pain, no sharpness, no dullness. So I'm glad I'm kind of on the other side of this. I'm happy. How else can I put it? So here's the weighted sit-ups, and the heaviest I've ever gone. It's 140 pounds. And this is such an underrated exercise. People think they're too good for sit-ups. Yeah, have you ever tried putting this amount of weight on your chest? Have you ever tried that? And what I like to do, you could see at the top, I kind of raise them a bit because that's how they get worked in a front squat, right? That's how your abdominals will feel, or even in a Zercher squat, instead of just having them low the whole time. This is really, really challenging, especially with this amount of weight. But it's okay. I'm just going to keep piling on the weight. What do I need to be scared for? Scared for what? Then here's my second run through of the giant set. What I liked about this is I was hitting multiple areas at once, but I was keeping myself going. And there was a goal. I wasn't just moving to move. Now, is it going to happen when I raise the weight? The glute ham raises and the split squats, I was able to get 15 reps each. So it was 2 clean sets of 15 to check them both off the list. The weighted sit-ups were another story. I only got 20 reps in 2 sets and had to do an additional third set to knock them off the list to get the 30 reps total. So what's great about this is it's versatile. I could go for 40 reps and have less weight and do more overall sets. I can go super high reps, maybe like 100 each, and maybe just go body weight. There's so many. I could even be like, you know what? I want these always to be heavy and do nothing but 15 to maybe 20 reps for each exercise. And that will really force me to go heavy. There's so many different ways you can modify this. If you think this is interesting enough for a video, let me know. I'll put it on my list as a tentative choice because I have so many other choices. But just let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I'll just go from there. Also, you could change the variation to be slightly harder. Like typically I would use a front rack position for those split squats, but today I'm like, let me just let them hang. I plan on doing other variations anyway, plus this weighted sit-ups hit my core without hitting my legs. So I said, you know what, let me just let them hang. I could probably do more weight that way, and my core strength and stability, will not affect my leg gains, let's say. But weighted sit-ups are so underrated. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They're not bad for your back if you're performing them correctly. The only thing is, I will say you're going to have to anchor yourself something. Anchor something to your feet, or else they're going to come up off the floor. So you don't want ego to get in the way. Be like, oh, I do perfect sit-ups. It's funny, my wife always makes fun of the way I walk, and she says this is how I walk even when I don't have this harness on, which is, I'm always like, bullshit. And when I saw that, now I know for sure that is not the way I walk normally. There's no way I walk like this. But whatever, these are just a power pole harness. It works your whole posterior chain as you walk. That was just an example. I did a bunch of passes. Here's the workout for the breakdown. Remember, let me know if you like how this new outro looks. I prefer the chalkboard. But as always, have yourself a great day, ladies and gentlemen.